Stephen Crowder, Narcissist, Part 5, Video Analysis. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor, continuing to analyse the evidence to make a determination as to what Stephen Crowder is. Crowder, of course, has appeared many times on YouTube and other platforms, espousing his various views as he's perfectly entitled to do so. But he also used that platform to talk about the issue of his divorce. Divorce is a private matter. I've been divorced. I didn't talk about it in a public forum. I deemed it was no need to do so. I was also, of course, able to nullify the threat to control that divorce posed through the legal channels. I didn't have to appear on some kind of alternative platform berating my ex-wife or being a crybaby, not that I ever am, about the way that I'd been treated. That, of course, is because I'm the ultra. I would deal with the threat to control that divorce poses in alternative means, behind the scenes, far more effectively. I don't need an audience to those things. However, many narcissists do, because they're ineffectual with regard to a direct assertion of control, and therefore their narcissism leads them to the indirect assertion of control, which basically means they have to bleat about how they've been treated, make out that it's totally unfair, bang on about the behaviour of the other spouse, to family, to friends, to neighbours, to therapists, to anybody who'll listen. And in certain instances, some narcissists take that to another level by broadcasting what is going on through television, media, blogs, YouTube, Rumble, Facebook, etc. And that's all part of garnering that indirect assertion of control. By complaining about the treatment of the other person, who invariably may well actually be the innocent victim, by making themselves out to be the victim, by whining about what has happened, by doling out the pity plays, they receive fuel from people sympathetic to their circumstances, possibly cause members of the coterie to go on the attack against the actual victim, and of course, because people agree that the way that the narcissist has been treated is awful, horrendous, disgusting, that sympathy, approval and agreement gives them an unconscious sense of control over the ex-spouse. Accordingly, it is common for a narcissist, when facing divorce proceedings, even where they've instituted those proceedings themselves, to make a big song and dance about it all, either to people around them, friends, family, etc., or to take to a platform to talk about it further. Stephen Crowder has behaved in a similar way. Now, you might think to yourself, well, if you've been hard done to, would you not want to use your platform? Well, the short answer is no, because if you've got emotional empathy for the other person, irrespective of what they've done, you're more likely to remain quiet about it. You'll deal with it privately. And it is often a strong narcissistic indicator for someone basically to go on a public platform and talk about what has happened to them, particularly whilst it's ongoing. Crowder went on in a video to say, "It's never fun. I've been living with a proverbial oot," I'm not sure what he means there, "on my neck for going on years now. Since 2021, I've been living through what has increasingly been a horrendous divorce. Now, let me say at the outset, there is no infidelity, no kind of physical abuse on either side. And no, this was not my choice. My then wife decided she did not want to be married anymore. This is a pity play. Boo-hoo-hoo, poor me. I don't understand it why my wife is divorcing me. I don't get it. I can't understand why she's decided that she doesn't want to be with me any longer. It doesn't compute. I'm the marvellous Stephen Crowder." He therefore exhibits that sense of entitlement that she shouldn't be divorcing him. It exhibits a threat to control. And he's doling out a pity play, subconsciously seeking to cause the audience to side with him and be sympathetic to him. He continued by saying, "It's been the most heartbreaking experience of my life," pity play. "I consider it to be my deepest personal failure," false contrition. "And just so you know, my opinions on parenting and families have not changed. I always believe that children need a mum and dad. Divorce is horrible. But in today's legal system, my beliefs don't matter. That, of course, is representative of his victimhood and complaining about the fact that his views seemingly don't matter, presumably because in the divorce things aren't going his way. He stated also that many other people knew about this behind the scenes, powerful people, people in a position of influence, and it was necessary for the safety of his children to keep this private. He then went on to state, if you're familiar with the idea of extortion, you know the feeling well. Now, some of these threats were so thinly veiled, I'm surprised you didn't guess immediately. And this is reference to Candice Owens' comments about him. He then continued in the video, I will continue to do whatever is necessary to protect my children. Discussing the divorce on a public space is not what's best for them. Yet, what is he doing? Discussing it on a public space. Once again showing the hypocrisy of the narcissist of, I'm not going to do it, but actually I am doing it. I'll be going through proper legal channels and ask you to respect our privacy at what is a pretty tough time. Except you must respect my privacy, but I'm allowed to put it all out there because I'm allowed to do what I want. So this was one of the videos that he'd appeared in. The fact that he takes to a platform of itself, his showmanship, that he's doling out pity plays, he's showing a sense of entitlement, there's a lack of accountability for his behaviours, that he is exhibiting a particular way of conducting himself, that he is showing a lack of emotional empathy for other people that are affected by it. So that was one of the videos, but there's also another one, which I'm going to play for you now, for you to watch, and then I'm going to analyse it. Here it comes.
Commented on my ongoing divorce on Tuesday, requesting privacy in the best interest of the family, but also by court order agreed upon by all parties. Look, broken marriages are ugly, and in them people do ugly things. Myself, of course included, I would never claim otherwise. However, due to recent misleadingly edited leaks to the tabloid press without context and not subject to consequences of the court, well, if not privacy, the next best option is truth. So today, I have filed a motion to officially unseal all files as they relate to the matter of legal record. Finances, relevant medical records, including mental health history or evaluations, depositions, and any motions or sanctions from the courts of Texas. I will not be leaking private marital information to the press, but if the privacy agreements are not respected by all parties, I will address all that is a matter of irrefutable legal record in full context next week.
Accordingly, once again, Crowder takes to a public platform, which is showmanship, a sense of entitlement. He doesn't see the need to keep it private, even though, of course, he asks people to respect his privacy. Hypocrisy. He explains that he's putting the divorce out there, but requests privacy. So, hypocrisy. He talks about how broken marriages are ugly, and in them people do ugly things, myself, of course, included. I would never claim otherwise. However, as to recent misleading leaks. So immediately, of course, he's saying, I'm not blameless, but this person has been worse than me, and there's been leaks of information, so I'm now going to respond to that. In effect, this is a threat to control, and he has to respond to it to nullify that threat to control. And therefore, he feels the need, publicly, not privately, but publicly, to tell the world that he's filed a motion to unseal various records about medical information, previous motions, etc., in the court of Texas. We don't need to know about that, but he, with his sense of entitlement, believes that everybody should know about it. He then goes on to state that if the privacy isn't respected, then basically he's going to be taking further action. Threat. He's saying, if you don't keep your mouth shut, I'm essentially going to try and make life very difficult for you. Going public in this way is demonstrative of his need to indirectly assert control. It shows an absence of emotional empathy for his children and for his ex-spouse. It shows a sense of entitlement to behave that way, a lack of accountability for his actions. It shows poor boundary recognition. It's manipulative in that he is utilizing the court proceedings in this way, and that he's utilizing threat. So the various video appearances that Steven Crowder has made, the one that I spoke about earlier, and also the short one that you've just seen, demonstrate a whole raft of narcissistic indicators. And the evidence continues to stack up. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.